Hey, what's going on, community and culture night, friends and family? Thanks so much for joining us on our first community and culture night of 2021. It's already been a long year and we're just getting started. So, again, thanks for carving out just a few minutes of your month to spend some time with us. Really excited for today as we get to talk with two special ladies, Mallory and Allison, on passions of theirs. And so what we're going to do is just going to take a couple minutes, as we always do, just take about a minute or so just to wait for people to come in. But as we are waiting for people to come in, just to kind of give you a couple quick announcements as we get going. Remember, as always, feel free to comment in our box. You'll be able to do that. We'll be able to see that. Recently, about a week ago, we posted a survey as a community culture night team. We would love it if you guys have the opportunity. It should only take about 3 or so minutes just to respond to that survey. I know surveys aren't like the most fun thing in the world, but it really does help us get a gauge on just where we're going as a community culture night group. When we first started this, the goal was to do this in person as an opportunity for young adults and professionals to learn from each other, and really more than anything, just to build community. Because I don't know about you, but it can sometimes be difficult to make friends in a new city, especially as I've noticed a lot of people that I know are transplants, so they're not from this area. And so it was just a way for people to gather, to hang out. And as we're doing that, COVID happened. And so as we've had to kind of translate and switch over to a virtual setting, it's been a little bit difficult, a little different, but we've made the most of it. And so, one of our goals for this year is that if everything goes well, to maybe have an outdoor opportunity. So there's a question about that. We'd love to hear different opportunities that you might be interested in as well. And so if you can fill out that survey, that would be really great. Again, it just helps give us feedback and data that we can use to better make use of this group so that this night and this evening, though it's about 45 minutes, can provide value to your day. And also, as a reminder, after this, we'll spend about 15 minutes chatting as a group. The Zoom link, the admin should have posted that in our Facebook group. So you can just hop onto that link. We'll chat for about 15 minutes just to hang out with each other and ask any more questions that you may have, and just spend a little more time together. So without further ado, as we are going to get going, I want to make sure we respect your guys' time. Like I said, my name is Nee, and I'm really, really excited to have Mallory and Allison. Mallory is going to be our first presenter, Mallory Simmons. She's going to talk about skincare. And I'm really excited about Mallory because before Community and Culture Night was ever a thing, this was a sip and study, and it was at one of our team members, Erica Legas' house or her apartment. And Mallory presented on something, I don't know if it was this exact thing or something very similar, and she legitimately changed my life because before that point, I was using bar soap to wash my face, and I thought that was normal, and apparently it's not. And I must say, my skin is so much better because of Mallory. And so I'm excited for her to impart her wisdom and her knowledge with you guys today. So I'm going to get myself out of the way. I'm going to bring Mallory on and have her introduce herself as well. So here we go. Mallory, you are popping on right now. Thanks so much for joining us, Mallory. All right, I'm going to kick myself off and bring your PowerPoint on and let you do the thing.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much for that very enthusiastic welcome. Hopefully I can live up to his great praise. But a little bit about me. I am a skincare hobbyist, enthusiast. My love of skincare began when I started working at Sephora. I started working at Sephora for a temporary holiday job, ended up working there for 5 years because I loved it so much. And I really developed an interest in different skincare products, different ingredients, and helping people to create skincare routines. So that's what I'm going to be talking about a little bit tonight. And it is important to note that I am not a dermatologist or a doctor, so please don't take any of this as medical advice, but this is just some tips and tricks and guidelines that I have learned that will hopefully help you to create or refine your skincare routine. So the first thing, and the thing that I would like you to take away from this, if nothing else, is that consistency is key. The best skincare routine for you is one that you will actually do every day. The brand does not matter as much as choosing the right ingredients and formulas for you. Some brands have lines that are good places to start, but you do not need to use all the same brand to have an effective skincare routine. And you also don't have to spend a lot to get results. If you go into CVS and you buy $25 worth of product that you use every day, day and night, you're going to get more results and more effectiveness than if you go and drop $300 at Sephora on a bunch of products that you only use every once in a while. So here is kind of just a good starting guideline for a skincare routine. So AM, 4 steps: cleanse, treat, moisturize, and protect. And then PM, cleanse, treat, and moisturize. These do not all have to be different products, and they also don't have to be all separate steps. They can be combined, and I will talk to you a little bit about that a little bit later on. So the first step we're going to talk about is cleanse. So if you wear makeup, double cleansing is key, and this just means removing makeup with a separate makeup remover. So that can be a makeup remover oil, a makeup remover balm, a micellar water on a cotton pad, or a makeup remover wipe. Just make sure there's no alcohol. And this is because a regular cleanser may get your makeup off, but then it's not really getting into that kind of oil and dirt underneath your makeup. So you definitely want to take that step if you wear makeup. Next is choosing a cleanser. So always err on the side of gentler. If you have dry to normal skin, you will want a non-foaming cleanser because lathering ingredients are just inherently kind of drying. So if you have dry to normal skin, you want to pick a cleanser that's called a creamy cleanser, a milky cleanser, a gel cleanser sometimes, just not something that is going to lather up when you put water in it. If you are normal, combination, or oily, you can do either a creamy or a foaming cleanser. Just make sure that after you are done cleansing, your skin does not feel squeaky or tight. That means your cleanser is too harsh and too drying. So you definitely want to go with something a little bit more gentle. Next, in the cleansing section, we're going to talk about exfoliating, which is the physical act of removing dead skin cells from your skin. And this can be done with a washcloth, a cleansing brush, so one of those kind of vibrating or spinning cleansing brushes. Clarisonic is one brand that you will see a lot, but a lot of brands have them, both at drugstore and at more high-end stores. Or you can use a gentle scrub. Now, if you use a scrub, you want to pick one with the smallest particles possible. None of that kind of walnut scrub that has like the big irregular particles, because those can actually cause little tiny tears in your skin, which is definitely not good. And you don't want anything with irregularly shaped grains. So just something with the smallest grains possible. Sometimes these will be called micro exfoliating scrubs, microdermabrasion scrubs. Anything like that is a good choice for an exfoliating step in your cleansing routine. So the next step is treatment. Now, if you are going to splurge on a skincare product, this is a step that you want to do, because this is the step that is going to have the most active ingredients. And active ingredients are ingredients that have been scientifically proven to do what they say they're going to do. Some of the more common active ingredients you will see are alpha hydroxy acids, or AHAs, and glycolic and lactic acids are the two most common that you will see. There are beta hydroxy acids, BHAs, and salicylic acid is the most common one of those. There's also some naturally derived ones like willow bark. That's also a BHA. Then there is retinol, vitamin C, Vitamin E is another one. So those will be actually on the label of your skincare product, and it will have a percentage, and that's how you know that it's an active ingredient. And some products that contain these will be serums, which are kind of a very thin lotion, toner or essence, which is a liquid that you would put on a cotton pad and then put on your face, or a lotion. And the thinner the consistency of your product, the closer you want it to your skin. So if you use both a toner and a serum, you would want to use the toner first because the toner is the thinner product, and then put the serum over top. Or if you use a serum and a lotion, serum first, then the lotion. And that's just a good kind of rule of thumb. And also, in the treatment category, you can use a mask. So some different kinds of masks are peel-off masks, sheet masks. I know you've seen people on Instagram with those funny, like sometimes they have prints or sometimes they look like animals. Then mud masks, clay masks, charcoal masks. You can get hydrating masks or brightening masks depending on your specific skin type or skin concern. Masks are usually only done about once a week, so that's a good treatment option for if you don't want to do something every single night. Then you can also use an eye cream for a treatment. Eye creams will help with hydration. Sometimes they help with fine lines. Unfortunately, there is no eye cream that will help with dark circles. All you got to do is sleep. I know that's a bummer. There's also acne spot treatments if you get breakouts, or you can do targeted wrinkle treatments for kind of those deeper lines that you sometimes get. And some of the treatment active ingredients, if you have any of these skin concerns, these are good active ingredients to look out for. So lines and wrinkles, alpha hydroxy acids, like I said, that glycolic and lactic acid, retinol. Retinol helps to turn over your skin faster, so new skin comes to the surface faster. Vitamin C is a brightening and tightening ingredient, and then hyaluronic acid is a moisturizing ingredient. And hyaluronic acid is really cool because what it actually does is it pulls moisture from the air, and it can hold something like 10,000 times its weight in moisture. And then if you have uneven skin tone, again, AHA, which is a chemical exfoliant, so it helps to get rid of that dead skin, and then retinol helps with the skin turnover. If you have acne or clogged pores, beta hydroxy acid is really great. Beta hydroxy acid actually goes into your pores and helps to clear them out from the inside. Also retinol. Retinol is obviously one of my favorite ingredients because it does pretty much everything. And then dullness, AHAs are good for that. Vitamin C is also really good for that. Again, that's a brightening ingredient. And then dryness, the hyaluronic acid. So next we'll talk about moisturizing. Contrary to popular belief, every skin type needs moisturizing. Even if you are oily, your skin does need added moisture. Sometimes oily skin can be more oily if you don't moisturize it because your oil glands are working overtime. So sometimes you will find if you think you have oily skin and you start moisturizing, you're really more of combination. It's just because your oil glands were working so hard before. So if you have dry skin, you can choose a cream or a thicker lotion. And you can choose an oil-based cream or lotion as long as it says non-comedogenic, which means it will not clog the pores. If you have normal skin, personal preference, if you like the feeling of a thicker cream or lotion, you can use that. If you like something more lightweight, you can use one of those. And then if you have oily skin, a gel or a lightweight formula is always good, and you want to make sure that it is oil-free. Now next, protect. This is kind of a personal passion project for me, getting people to wear sunscreen, because the sun is the #1 cause of premature aging. Something like 80% of the visible signs of aging can be prevented by avoiding sun exposure. And we all know that prevention is way, way easier than going back and repairing damage that has already been done. So this is a really, really important step of your skincare routine. Now, if you are going to be just everyday sun exposure, meaning like you are driving in your car and the sun is coming down, you are walking from the parking lot to your office, or just out and about, an SPF 15 is fine. If you are going to be in the sun for more than about an hour, SPF 30 or more is recommended. And many moisturizers, especially daytime moisturizers, already have sunscreen included, so you don't have to use a separate moisturizer and sunscreen, but please use sunscreen. Now here is a sample routine for someone with combination skin, trying to prevent lines and wrinkles, as well as the occasional breakout. This happens to be mine. I am in my mid-30s, so I'm in that really great golden spot of having wrinkles, but also having occasional breakouts. So what I do is I use a gentle foaming cleanser. That's literally what it's called, gentle foaming cleanser, in the AM. And then I use a vitamin C serum, again, that protective factor. That is that lightening and brightening ingredient. And then my moisturizer for the day has SPF 15. So that is what I will wear just on a normal day with normal sun exposure. If I'm going to be out in the sun for longer than that, I will use at least an SPF 50, but I'm also very pale and I burn very easily. So your personal preference, just 30 and above is good for more than everyday sun exposure. Now in the evening, if I wear makeup, which is pretty rare these days, but if I wear makeup, I remove it with micellar water on a cotton pad. And then I use that same foaming cleanser, but with a Clarisonic face brush. So that's kind of my cleansing and my exfoliating for the night. Then I use a toner with glycolic acid, so a liquidy product. And then my PM moisturizer contains retinol. Now that is 2 active ingredients. I recommend that if you are new to skincare, you start with just 1 active ingredient at a time to make sure that your skin can handle it. And if you are adding a new product or adding a couple of new products, add 1 new product at a time, so that if you have a reaction or if you break out, you will know what caused it. And then I also use a charcoal or a mud mask about once a week. If I am having a bad skin week, if you menstruate, you know about bad skin weeks, I will add an additional mud mask. So I'll do it 2 times a week, and then maybe an acne spot treatment as well. And something to mention about if you do have a breakout, if you are having just a bad skin day or week, don't freak out. Don't wash your face a million times a day. Don't pile on a whole bunch of products. You just want to stay consistent with your routine. And then maybe add an extra spot treatment or an extra mask. So that is the information that I have to share with you on creating a skincare routine. I could talk for hours and hours about this, but I know that I only have a certain amount of time today. But I will stick around a little bit for questions. And if you want to email me or anything, or Facebook message me, I am in the group. So I hope you learned a little something today, and I hope your skin will be better for it.
I know for a fact our skin will be better for it. So now is a great time for questions. I'm going to kick us off, and I know there's already a couple questions in the chat, but for those who are kind of learning about this, or maybe they're people who know, where do people go? I know this is kind of a weird question, but where do people go wrong in terms of, they're shopping and they say, I want to do something with my skin. What are the common mistakes, or like the one thing it's like, hey, if you're going to start this process, don't do this?
So I would say probably the most common mistake is getting too many products at first. Like I said, the best skincare routine for you is one that you are going to be able to do consistently. So if you do nothing right now and you go and buy 12 different products and you think, I'm going to use these every day and every night and my skin is going to be so amazing, and then you don't because it takes too long or you get overwhelmed, you want to just start really small, create a habit, and then once you have that habit, then add a product or two at a time.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense, because I think oftentimes, you're swayed by marketing and you feel like you need to get every single thing, and then you have even no idea where to start.
Yep. And then I see another one of these about my favorite skincare brands. So I would say my favorite skincare brand is probably Neutrogena. Again, a drugstore brand, but they have a lot of different kind of individual lines for different skincare, different skin types, different skin concerns. So that's a really good place to start if you are just starting out and you don't know where to begin. That's kind of a good line that has pretty much anything for any skincare concern that you might want or need.
Someone asks, what are your favorite face masks?
So there is a brand, another skin drugstore brand called Yes To, and they have a whole bunch of different types of masks for different skincare concerns. My favorite personal masks are charcoal or mud masks, because they kind of like draw the impurities out of your skin and they just make your skin feel really soft. I'm not a huge fan of the sheet masks because I just don't love how they feel, but I know a lot of people really like those and they like how they're kind of like cooling and relaxing. So it's really just kind of a personal preference of what kind of mask you use. But I think it's just it's a good self-care thing, like especially if you run a bath, you put a face mask on, you relax for 15 or 20 minutes. That's a really good addition to a routine.
Someone asked, this is a good question. I've heard of chemical and mineral sunscreens, but don't really know the difference. Does what kind of sunscreen or SPF I use matter that much? The ones I've tried tend to break me out, and I'm wondering if I'm choosing the right one or wrong one.
Okay, so the difference between a chemical and mineral sunscreen, a chemical sunscreen actually sinks into your skin and it works with I think it's the melanin in your skin to protect it using a chemical reaction. A mineral sunscreen is also called a physical sunscreen, and a physical sunscreen actually creates a physical barrier. So a physical sunscreen will be, it'll look a little more whitish and it'll be a little bit harder to blend in just because it doesn't sink into your skin. The breakout issue, it could be because of the chemical or mineral factor, but it could also be something else in the sunscreen. I would recommend using a sunscreen specifically for your face, on your face, because those tend to have less kind of pore clogging ingredients because they are specifically for your face, and your facial skin is very different from your body skin. So I would try, if you do have breakouts from regular sunscreen, I would try a sunscreen that says it's specifically for your face.
So, okay, that's actually really good to know, because I didn't realize there were multiple types of sunscreen, and even that in terms of mineral chemical, and then even to go further that there are, you just pick up sunscreen at the store, next to the beach towels and just move on your day, not realizing that what may be used for your body may be different than, your face, and even realizing that the skin on your face is different from your body.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. That's so interesting. A couple more questions. Um, how do you know what skin type you are?
So you can tell what skin type you are by how your face feels right after you wash it. So if you wash your face and then about 30 minutes later, your skin still feels dry, feels tight, feels kind of flaky, that would mean you are a dry skin type. If your skin feels neither dry nor oily after you wash your face, you're more normal. If 30 minutes after you wash your face, your T-zone is a little bit oily, so your forehead, your nose, chin, and then your cheeks are dry, that means you're a combination. And if your whole face is oily, is shiny, then you are oily skin type.
Okay, cool. And I may just be the only one that doesn't know that, but I'm still learning. So apparently I'm the only one that doesn't know that. But we got to wrap up. So one question that we like to ask for those who are coming on, obviously Community and Culture Night is all about building community. So I always like to ask this of every person. What does community mean to you and what does it look like in your life?
Community to me means a group of people that I know will have my back, and that if I'm having a bad day, that I can count on to cheer me up. Or conversely, if they are having a bad day, they know that they can come to me for a vent, a shoulder to cry on, a glass of wine.
I love
And
it.
yeah, and it has really been helpful in my life through the pandemic, because I never realized how much social interaction really meant to me until I didn't have it anymore, besides with my husband and my toddlers. So yeah, it's been very, very helpful and very important to me through the past year.
I love that. Mallory, thanks so much. What's the best way, if someone has a question, how can they get a hold of you? I know you kind of mentioned it earlier on, but how can they get a hold of you?
Well, I am in the Community and Culture Facebook group. Mallory Curtis Simmons is my Facebook name. And then you can also email me at mallorycurtis@gmail.com. And I would love to talk more about skincare, because I love to talk about it.
Perfect. There you guys go. Now you have your own personal expert right there for you. Awesome. Thanks so much, Mallory. Really
Thank
appreciate
you.
it. Well, hope you guys learned something new. I certainly did. Had no idea about multiple types of sunscreens. But as we transition, we're really excited to talk with Allison. She also has a really big passion and has turned her passion into a business. So I'm going to bring up Allison to talk a little bit more about what she's doing. I've got the chance to know Allison for the past few years now. So I'm really excited to hear what she has to say and share with us her passion. Hey, Allison. Oh, hold on. I actually muted you. Can you
Oh,
hear? How about now?
there you go. Good. Yeah.
Perfect.
Thanks
Hey,
so
thanks
much
so
for
much for
having
joining us.
me.
Really appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm so excited to be here. Thank you.
Absolutely. So I want to dive right into it because I think what you're doing is really, really cool. You created an Instagram store, but I don't want to dive too much into it, but it all kind of centers around your passion and your love for thrifting. So I guess the first kind of question is, there are people who, like, for instance, like my spouse loves thrifting, but like I feel like you're like on a whole nother level. So like, where did your like passion for like thrifting begin?
Yeah. So I would label myself as an old soul. And what I mean by that is someone who just appreciates things kind of in the eras gone by, things that maybe people don't necessarily still maybe appreciate this to this day. So my entire life, our family spent our Saturdays at thrift stores, garage sales, going to farm auctions, flea markets. And that was really what our family did together. And so that's kind of how I grew up shopping. And that turned into really a long term hobby and passion, and something I do regularly now. So that's kind of how that began, was with my family growing up.
So then what was the transition from you going, hey, I have this thing that I love, it's been a part of my family forever, to the creation of Studio Noor? And then I would also love to know where that name even comes from.
Yeah. Yeah. So all the time I have people ask me or comment on items maybe in my house or things I wear. They're like, "Hey, Allison, I love that. Where did you get it? Where can I get one?"
Mm.
And my comment usually is, "Oh, I got it at a thrift store, or I got it at a flea market, or I got it at a garage sale." And people are just blown away at the things that I find and the things that I have. And so what happened was a friend of ours named Allie made a comment to my sister and said, Allison's really good at that. She could really sell the things that she finds. And when my sister shared that with me, it kind of just sparked maybe an epiphany moment of like, okay, I don't know. I guess just I was in the season where I was ready for something new, ready to try my hand at something different. And I think it was just like the right time and the right moment. And so I was like, all right, why not? Let's try this. So that kind of began there. And then the name Studio Noor, I had a coworker whose name was actually Noor, and I asked her what it meant, and it means light in Arabic. And I
Wow,
love that, and it always stuck with me. Yeah,
that's so
it
cool.
always stuck with me. And so I was thinking about names and studio, as a place for creatives to kind of gather and go. And so I loved that word. And I came back to Noor and I was like, man, one of the things I'm passionate about is kind of bringing new light to these old items, new light to upcycling and like pieces and materials. And just that idea of, bringing a new light to these items as they go into people's homes or their wardrobes. And so that's kind of how that came together was Studio Noor, was the idea of the new light.
That is so cool. I love how it's there's like intentionality and purpose even behind the name to like kind of what you're doing. That is so cool. So obviously, like, when I'm thinking of thrifting, I think of like Halloween, I need a costume, I'm gonna run to Goodwill, right? Like that's what I think of. So like obviously it goes much deeper than that. So what types of items do you sell, and even like how do you like find what you're look like? How do you just walk around and just say like, oh, this looks good? Like I'm so curious about your process.
Yeah. So Studio Noor is kind of split up into two segments. So I sell things on Mondays and Thursdays. Mondays is more vintage and antique items. You're going to find home styling pieces. You're going to find decor, whether that's vintage kitchen items, stuff for your bedroom, stuff for your living room. That's what you're going to find on Mondays. It's all decor and styling pieces. And then on Thursdays, that's where actually my handcrafting pieces and wardrobe pieces come into play.
Right.
So I create handcrafted leather earrings out of upcycled leather.
Oh
Um,
wow, that's
a
awesome.
huge passion of mine is
Yeah.
upcycling and sustainability. So that's kind of a cool place to be able to show my creativity. And then other wardrobe pieces that are vintage, like silk scarves, leather bags, leather wallets, leather belts. I do a lot of leather wear. I love good leather. So Mondays is vintage and antique pieces, and Thursday is wardrobe. So home styling wardrobe.
So
So that's
you
the stuff I
so
sell.
you are like, so not only are you finding these pieces, but you're also creating these pieces. So when
Yeah.
you create, are there templates you're using? Is it just kind of like, hey, I see this, I have an idea, a vision for it, and you just execute? What does that look like for you?
Yeah, so kind of, creating for me and handcrafting has been also a lifelong thing. I am always working on a project, making things with my hands. I've been that way my whole life. And so the upcycled leather earrings, I started making those a while ago and actually giving them away as gifts. And when I started to think about Studio Noir, I was like, hey, like I could
Yeah.
sell and so the earrings are all hand cut by me. I've made all of my own designs.
Wow.
I have literally like traced my own patterns, and I hand cut every single piece of leather with a sharp razor, essentially. So it's all hand done by me. And yeah, sometimes I'll see something. I'm like, oh, I could create that. I could
Yeah.
make that. Or I don't know, I'll be making, a pair of earrings, and then oh, this combination or this shape would look really good. So that's kind of how that works there. So
So where, okay, so obviously and I have to assume this because I feel like every like expert in a craft has like secrets, right? Like trade secrets. Like I'm not going to tell you everything I know, but I'm going to give you some hints. So you're
Mhm.
probably not going to tell us everywhere you shop or everywhere you get certain pieces, but what are some like go-to places that you go to that you're like, hey, I know when I go to this flea market or this store that I'm going to find some really good pieces?
Yeah. So, really simply, everyone's heard of the Goodwill, right? Everyone has seen one in their neighborhoods. So, I live in the Fishers area, and one simple place to go is just the Goodwills in your area. You would never know what you're going to find. There are so many near us and in like the surrounding Indianapolis area. That is a great starting point.
Okay.
My beyond favorite thrift store is called Value Village. It is located in Racine, Wisconsin. My mom actually began thrifting there in the early 80s and
And you're
still,
from Wisconsin.
yes, I'm from Wisconsin, yeah. And so my mom began thrifting here in the early 80s and she still goes every single week to the same thrift store. And it is my favorite thrift store ever. And then a flea market that I love. I love to go to, kind of flea markets throughout the state.
Okay.
But one place that I go to is out in Ohio with my mom. We actually go twice a year and we make it a girls' weekend. We book an Airbnb. We shop for 2 full days, like 8 or 10 hours a day. We don't even see everything. Yeah, there's like over 2,000 vendors. It's
That is
my
wild.
yeah, and we get the wildest things, and it's so much fun, and we have a blast.
Two
But you
full
did ask
days.
that I want to get back to. Is
Yeah.
that okay? So
Go
you
for
asked
it.
like, how do you like look for things? And I think
Yeah.
this is something that's probably like a lot of people wonder about thrifting. Um, so one of my things for when I'm shopping for the studio, because what's cool is that, I always was just thrifting for myself. And now like I actually get to buy more because I'm like, I don't feel as guilty, right? Because I'm like, it's not for me.
Not for you, right?
Yeah, like that's how I always feel now. But one of the things I'm always looking for with like decor pieces is I want it to be unique and useful. So our generation is not really huge on just having random things that don't really have purpose. We want things to have purpose behind it. So when I'm looking for items in a store, when I'm browsing shelves, I always want to see like, okay, not only is this item unique and different, but is this also going to bring purpose to the space? Is it
Yeah.
going to have use and meaning? So that's kind of one of the ways I always gauge, when I'm thrifting is, okay, is this going to have purpose for someone's home or someone's lifestyle?
So when you're looking at what is unique and useful, I think that's a really good gauge in terms of like for you as you're beginning to shop. But what about for people who are new thrifters wanting to get started? How do we best determine what's what we should bring into our home, right? Because you see the Maria condos, and they're like, all of a sudden we have so much stuff, so it's like, we don't want to just keep buying for the sake of buying. So what are some tips for new thrifters or people who are like, hey, I want to get into this more?
Yeah, so I would say more so into tips for thrifting. I mean, what you want to bring into your home. Like, I love to have things. I'm probably more of, on the opposite end where I'm like, the more knickknacks, the better. But some tips for people who maybe aren't into thrifting, but they want to get into thrifting. That's what I hear a lot. People are like, Allison, like, I love what you're doing. I just don't have the time for that. So that's kind of also another drive for the studio is I want to bring the joy of like the find and the hunt without you having to spend the time and the hassle of shopping. Um, but if you're interested in thrifting, I do have a couple tips, for people who want to get into it. First of all, thrifting takes a little bit of time. I think people just want to like walk in and just like you said, like look at a shelf and be like,
Yeah,
that's my
yeah.
need. Or like a rack of clothing and they like walk up to the rack and they just grab one and they're like, here it is. This is what I have. You have to dedicate a little bit of time when you go. Like, expect to spend maybe an hour or so in the Goodwill, browsing the shirt rack if that's what you're looking for. If you're looking for a new sweater, um, be willing to take some time. Another tip is be willing to dig a little. that's one thing I think people get a little, they're like, I don't really want to dig for pieces. Yeah. Yeah. Like be willing to like walk up to a shelf because like thrift stores are not like Target where everything is like beautiful on a shelf. You have to be willing to like pick up items, like move things to the side, like be willing to look through like um, racks of photos and shelves with, different things. Like you have to be willing to dig a little. Another thing is you have to be willing to maybe see past like the dirt and grime and see an item for what it could be.
Hmm.
I think that that's where I find a lot of great pieces is it it's a beautiful piece, but it needs cleaning, or it needs a fresh coat of paint, or it just needs like a great like scrub brush to get the grime. And then just finally, one last thing I would say is like be willing to go back a few times because there are even times, people say I go thrifting and I don't find anything. And there are plenty of times where I don't find anything when I walk into a thrift store. But just be willing to go back and try again and do those things. Be willing to dig, be willing to look and be willing to look past the dirt and be willing to give a little time to it. So
No, these are really, really useful and helpful tips. I really appreciate that. A couple more questions before we open it up for the group to ask questions. I'm curious, there are a lot of platforms you could have used, Etsy, different things like that. Why Instagram?
yeah, I think I really didn't know if Studio Nor was going to work, to be honest. Um, it was kind of just like, all right, like this is kind of a whim. Let's see if this works. And Instagram is a platform I was really familiar with. It's a platform that a lot of my demographic of shoppers are familiar with. So it was a great place to really like build a brand, to
Sure.
kind of trial and error, to see what engagement was like on certain products. If certain products didn't do well, I wasn't losing the money on like an Etsy listing.
Sure.
Uh, Instagram doesn't have a fee for what I'm doing. And that was more of a risk-free trial. And honestly, it was kind of a safe place because I knew I had supportive friends and family who I could be like, hey, here's my new page, and would get that follow, and would get that interaction too. So that's kind of why I chose Instagram to start off and to make an Instagram store.
So what's been your favorite part of this Studio Nor journey? You started it, you're like a little unsure, like, is this gonna work? Is this gonna be one of those things where like just my friends buy and that's it? And everyone's like, okay, we're done. But it still looks like it's still growing, things are still moving. So what's been the most favorite part for you?
Yeah. So definitely two things. I think one of the cool things about Studio Nor is that a lot of my heart and soul is woven through the details of the page. What Studio Nor has been, it's really been an outlet for a very unique side of me that a lot of people maybe don't know or didn't know that much about. So it's been really cool to be able to share kind of, again, that like soulful piece of myself
Yeah.
with people really woven through the details of the studio. And then my second favorite part has been what I call the studio friends. It's all the people that I've already met throughout this journey. Getting to send an item to someone I've never met in Colorado or South Carolina or Virginia that I'm like, I've never met these people, but getting to share with them and their support of this dream, it's just been so cool. And the connections, I've literally made friends with people through like sharing a pair of earrings with them or selling them a pair of candlesticks. So that's been so cool as the people.
I love that. Unexpected community, right?
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
so as we
Exactly.
open it up, we're going to head and open it up for questions. So if you guys have any questions for Allison, would love to have them in the chat. So I'm just going to kick off a question. This is probably a really difficult question, but what's one thing that you remember thrifting that maybe, I don't know, maybe it's not necessarily your favorite, but it's also maybe it's not your favorite, but most memorable, or something you're like, man, I can't believe I got this thing.
Yeah. Okay. So I love unique jewelry. I love beautiful jewelry. Some of my favorite jewelry is the craftsmanship of Native American pieces. Their artistry and craftsmanship is so detailed and beautiful. So one of my favorite pieces is this necklace that I purchased at that flea market in Ohio. It's called a squash blossom. It looks kind of like a crescent moon on like a long chain. And how I bought it, I literally purchased it off of the person's neck. The woman was wearing it,
Wow.
and I have wanted one of these necklaces for years. But the price range is in the several thousands for these necklaces. And I was in her booth, just browsing. We were kind of chatting, and I commented on her necklace. I said, "Wow, your squash blossom is beautiful." And she's like, "Oh, yeah." And she's like, "It's actually for sale." And I was like, "Oh, great. Like, what are you
Right.
going to quote me $2,000?" And I was like, "Oh, yeah." And I was like, "Out of curiosity, what are you asking for it?" And I'll share with you what I spent on it. And she was like, "Oh, $75." And I was like, "Oh." Now, for me as a thrifter, I don't spend $75 on anything
Right.
ever. Um, I love like a good deal, a steal. I love that. But knowing how long I've wanted that piece for, and they're all unique because they're handcrafted, but knowing how long I wanted a piece like that, and that they're usually in the several thousands, and she was like, "Oh, $75." I almost fell over. I was so excited. So I like didn't even question it.
You
I was
just
like, "Here you
immediately.
go." And I literally wear this necklace all the time. It's my favorite. And it was just such a cool kind of story. And it
Yeah,
was
I mean, especially when it's like on someone and it's like you've been
right.
looking
Literally,
for
I
that.
bought it
You're
off of,
staring at the thing you've been searching down for who knows how long.
yeah. Yeah. So
Oh,
that's
I
kind of a,
love it. That's cool. That's so cool. I
yeah.
have a question. What advice would you give someone who wants to start their own business or shop?
Ooh. I would say really figure out kind of your lane. One of the things I've noticed about people when they're trying to start their own shop or business is they're kind of trying so many things at once. Like they're maybe trying to go in the creative realm, but then also like in the profession, or trying to sell so many different things. I would say, like, before you start, figure out your why and figure out your lane. Like, what are you going to sell or what are you going to do? Do research on that and look at other people who you admire in that same lane and get advice from them. But just figure out your lane, your why, and don't stray from that. Like, be really consistent in that lane so that it's not like hard for your demographic to like understand what you're selling, but also so that your branding is consistent, so that your drive is consistent. So I don't know if that kind of makes sense, but figure
Yeah,
out why, your lane, look to other people who are doing what you want to do, and kind of just stick to it, and keep going and keep working at it.
that's good. Any favorite antique or thrift shops here in Indianapolis?
Mm. In Indianapolis, I like have explored so many. Okay, so out in like the Anderson Avon area, no, duh, that's two different directions. Out in the Avon area, I don't know why is it Anderson? Sorry. Out in the Avon area, there is a really big antique mall. I think it's literally just called like the Avon Antique Mall. It's huge, and what it is, it's like buildings connected to more and more buildings,
Oh, wow.
and you think you're done, and then it like opens up to another pole barn, and it opens up to another pole barn. It's out in Avon, like, 40 minutes away. But great antiquing, really unique pieces. I've gotten some cool stuff from there.
Okay, that's awesome. Well, we have to start wrapping things up, but this has been so great to hear and learn from, like, I mean, how to start, take a passion to turn it into a shop and really discover like the purpose behind it. So before we get wrap up, the question we always like to ask everyone, what does community mean to you and what does it look like for you?
Yeah, I would honestly say that community is this. Community is cheering on people's dreams and passions and getting to journey together through life. It's getting to shoulder, each other's purposes and visions. Nee, like, you had this vision for CNC nights, and it's been so fun to watch you. But then I had this vision for Studio Nor, and you have been there along my journey. So for me, community is that people group that you get to journey together, that you get to champion one another, champion each other's purposes, each other's dreams, and just get to enjoy life with.
Speaking of that, I have my studio north.
Hey, yeah.
my cool lion. We're still trying to find it. We had it in one spot in our house for Christmas. Now we're trying to figure out a place what's gonna fit, but we love it. We literally like we have no idea where we're gonna even put this, but it was too cool not to have.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, I was so honored to have that go to you guys.
I'm telling you, this was so awesome. Well, Allison, thanks so much for being a part of Community Culture Night and sharing a little bit of your story. We really appreciate it. Where can
Thank
people get a hold of you, get connected with you if they have any questions
Yeah.
or want to buy?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you want to find Studio Nor, you can find us at Shop Studio Nor. That's the handle, and you can find all of the pieces on there. And you can find me on Instagram or Facebook, just Allison Schimenti. And I'd love to connect with you, even give you more advice about thrifting or crafting, or want to do a thrift day. I'd love to do that too.
Hey, there
Yeah.
we go. All right. Thanks so much, Allison. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. Such an honor.
All right, everyone. Well, I hope you had a wonderful evening. Thanks again to our two fantastic guests, Mallory and Allison, for sharing a bit of your story with us today. As we mentioned in the very beginning, if you could do a couple things for us. One, the survey that we sent out, if you guys could take a look at that, fill that out. It's about 3 minutes. It helps, gives us data and gives us an opportunity to make this better for you guys. As an opportunity to connect. And then as well as always, we're going to spend the next about 10 or 12 minutes on a Zoom call just to continue to get to chat, ask any questions. I think Allison will be on as well. So if you have any questions or just want to chat for a couple seconds, feel free to hop on. Everything is going to be in the Facebook group. The link is posted there. Again, thank you so much for being a part of this. It means the world. Every time we see a view go up, we just are excited to know that there are people journeying along with us as we learn from really interesting people and get to champion their dreams. Hope you guys have a great evening, and we'll see you guys next month. Thanks so much.